Welcome to Corncob TV Sportsnet Update, where we are covering the pre-national meet. So let's see how the Jays performed at this race. Here they are, all lined up, ready to go. And with the gun, they are aggressively getting out to navigate this really dense field of runners. This was a very huge meet that they had to deal with, so getting out is important. And here we are right before the 1 kilometer mark, and Matt Fick and Brandon Baxter working together there, leading the Blue Jays. Here comes Derek and Daniel Myers, not too far behind. Will and Jake and Nolan and Carson. And then there's Christian, Ben, and Jake and Carter. So the Blue Jays are not too far spaced out at the beginning of this race. Here we go right after 1K. Matt and Brandon still ahead. A bit more spaced out with Dan and Will and Derek. There's Nolan making his way up. Ben and Christian still working together there, and then Carter is closing the Blue Jays out. Right after the 1 mile mark, again, the same story. Matt and Brandon still leading the charge for the Blue Jays. There's Brandon coming up now. Here comes Dan and Will, still leading in front of Derek, who is not too far behind. And there's Nolan and then Christian as they move up to the wooded section. This is the section that will really make or break the race, where you really have to make those moves. There's Nathan. And here we are at the first spectator spot partway through the woods. This is the first time the spectators can see the runners after they enter the woods, and we see Matt is still leading the charge with Brandon behind. The same story there. Here we go. Dan and Will still working close together. Nolan is moving up as well. Derek, as he spits there, is a little bit behind, but he still has plenty of race to make up that gap. Christian here is moving with Ben, still the two working together, and Jake is looking to catch up with them. And Carson and the other Jake are also working together. So some small little packs here with the Blue Jays working together to complete this race. And here comes Carter. Now Carson had a little bit of a fall, and we do not have any video footage of it, but we have a computer simulation right here. So a little bit of slippery conditions, which caused a brutal fall, but he was able to recover and finish the race. So here we are at Kill Hill. Matt is still moving, leading the Jays. Brandon not too far behind. Still the same story, the two Jays, 1 and 2. Dan's working up the hill as well. He now moved into third. Nolan's still working. Now Derek moved up. He's looking to catch Nolan. Will is falling behind a little bit, but still looking very strong. A big performance is ready for him. Christian and Ben still working together. This is the steepest, longest hill on the course, so this can really make or break races. This is the time to pass people. Here we go, Carson. After his fall, he's still running strong. He's not going to let that get to him. And here comes Jake. Carter working down almost to the 5K mark. Here we are close to the end of the race. Matt's really making a move, trying to pass people, and here is the finishing straight. Matt passing as many runners as he can, giving it everything he has. Here's Brandon, not too far behind. Every place really counts in this race with this large field. Every runner you can pass means a big difference in the team's performance. Here comes Dan working hard. Derek moving up to third on the team. He had a very big finish at that 5K mark. The last 3 kilometers really pushing it, moving up. Here comes Nolan, trying to hold off that runner and catch runners in front of him. Here's Will and Jake working together. Jake really moved up as well, similar to Derek, really passing lots of runners in this field. And here's Ben really pouring it on. This long straight is the perfect time to really pass people. Here's Christian. Now Jake Smith really going to those arms. Quite the finish for him, passing this pack of runners. Here comes Carter. Carter Balliet finishing. And Carson. Now, Athlete of the Meet was awarded to Daniel Myers for his big race. But first, let's take a look at the next weekend, the LVC meet, where a lot of the other runners competed in. So off with the horn are the Blue Jays. Carson had a great race this day. The race conditions were a bit muddy, leading to some of these hairpin turns being very slippery, which made this relatively fast course result in some slower times, which was quite an unfortunate event for these Blue Jays here. Also, the rain had a delay on the meet, so that kind of messed with the warm-up schedule for the Blue Jays, but Carson Brooks was awarded Athlete of the Meet for LVC, so congratulations to him for a big PR. I believe it was 4 minutes faster in his 8K. So very great performance from the freshman Carson Brooks. Now on to the interview with Daniel Myers, Athlete of the Meet for the pre-national. I'm here with Daniel Robert Myers, who was Athlete of the Meet from the pre-nats on our team. What was the secret to your Athlete of the Meet worthy?
Mental. It's all mental.
That's true. Any words of wisdom?
You know, what? FSD mental. That's really name of the game. That's what it was. You know, it helps not being sick. That helps. And yeah, mental. I was just repeating. I'm not allowed to say what I was repeating.
LFSD mentally.
Let's after a little bit. But yeah, it felt good. It was a little rainy. Perfect cross-country conditions.
Was it your greatest race of all time?
No, definitely not. Definitely not. There's still much more to come, as they say.
All right. Thank you, Daniel Robert Myers.
No problem.
Thank you.
Good luck on the rest of everybody's season.